the last part of this conversion idea is converting not from degrees to radians, but from degrees to degrees, minutes, and seconds. So breaking down a set of degrees. So here's a couple examples. The first one, I'm going from degrees, so decimal degrees, to degrees, minutes, and seconds. And we're going to do this by hand first, but then I'll show you how you can do it on the calculator as well. But first by hand. So when I'm going from decimal degrees, it means that I've got a whole set of degrees. Okay, so the whole set of degrees in this case is 80. So I've got 80 full degrees. But I've got 0.6125 of one more degree. So I'm almost at 81 degrees. I'm a little over halfway to 81 degrees. Okay. But I would want to, instead of writing that as a decimal, I want to write it in what we call minutes and seconds, so that we can get a little bit more exact definition of where we're at. And when I say 80.6125, then that's fine. But in actuality, when we're working on surveying and we're working on landscaping, when we're looking at the world, doing some ship movements and plane movements and things like that, we don't say degrees. We say we change those half or part degrees into minutes and seconds. And so that's what we want to do here. And the way that we change that 0.6125 into minutes is by multiplying that by 60. And the reason I chose 60 or use 60 is just like in a clock where each minute there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. There are 60 minutes in 1 degree when we're talking about degrees. And so when I take and I actually multiply 0.6125 times 60, I get 36.75. And so that 36 represents how many whole minutes I have. So I have 36 whole minutes in this 0.6125 of a degree. But I still have a 0.75 that's left of those minutes. So I want to be even a little bit more exact than just minutes. So I'm going to take that 0.75 and multiply that by 60 in order to figure out what I have in seconds. Because again, I choose 60 because just like 60 seconds in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds in 1 minute when we're talking about degrees in decimal form. And when I multiply that, 0.75 times 60 is 45. So I have 45 seconds. And if I ended up with a decimal here on seconds, I would leave that decimal version as well. I wouldn't keep going. We go as far as degrees, minutes, seconds. We don't go into like milliseconds or nanoseconds or any other smaller conversion of seconds. We stop there. And so when I go from degrees, minutes, seconds to decimal degrees, then I'm actually going to end up doing the opposite. So I'm going to take and I'm going to start at the end. I'm going to start with the smallest portion. So I'm going to start with the 52 seconds. And I'm going to take those 52 seconds and I'm going to divide them by 60 so that I can turn them into minutes, a decimal portion of minutes. And so when I take 52 divided by 60, I get 0.8 and 6 repeated. That's minutes now. So I've actually got, instead of 36 degrees, 12 minutes and 52 seconds, I've got 36 degrees and 12.86 repeated minutes. Okay, I turn those seconds into minutes. Now I only have minutes now. Now I want to go through and I want to turn those minutes into degrees. So the way that I turn those minutes into degrees is I take the minutes, 12.86 repeated, and divide it by 60 again. So I'm going to take and divide it by 60. That's going to then turn that into a set of degrees. So I take 12.86 repeat and I divide it by 60. I end up getting 0.214 repeated. And so now I've taken and I've gone and I've changed this 36 degrees and 12.86 repeated seconds into 36.214 repeated all degrees. And so now I've turned this all into a set of degrees. And if I'm looking at rounding this, it's going to be 0.214, and the repeated part rounds to leave it at 0.214. So now I turn that whole thing from degrees, minutes, seconds into just decimal degrees. Another way you can kind of look at that is that we've got degrees, minutes, and seconds. So the degrees are whole degrees. The minutes are 1/60th of a degree, and seconds are 1/60th of a minute, which means that they're actually 1/3600th of a degree, because I divided by 60 and I divided by 60 again, which means I actually divided by 3600. And so you can look at the conversion to be done that way as well. So now let's go back and work and finish up these conversions here at the bottom. I'm going from decimal degrees to degrees, minutes, seconds. And so I'm going to take this 0.423 degrees and I'm going to multiply it by 60 so that I can turn it into minutes. And 0.423 times is equal to 25.38. I don't want that 0.38 on there in my minutes because I know that I can turn those into seconds. And so I'm going to take that 0.38 and multiply that by 60. And 0.38 times 60 gives me 22.8. And that 22.8 is in seconds now, so I don't want to keep going with that 0.8. But if I wanted to get even more technical, I probably could. But now I have my total of 23 degrees. I had 25 whole minutes, and I had 22.8 seconds that were left over. And it's okay if you have that 0.8 in the seconds, just don't leave it in the minutes. Okay? We're not going any farther than seconds, so that's where we want to stop no matter what. On the next one, I've got 152 degrees. So my decimal is going to be 152 point something, because those are whole degrees. The point something is going to come from 45 divided by 60. Well, I know that 45 divided by 60 gives me... let's start that one over. 45 divided by 60 doesn't necessarily matter right now. I want to start at the 20 seconds. So I'm going to take the 20 seconds and divide that by 60, which gives me 0.3 repeated. 20 divided by 60. And that 0.3 repeated gets added onto my minutes that I have. So now I have 45.3 repeated minutes that I'm going to divide by 60. And 45.3 repeated divided by gives us a little bit more than a fourth. So we get 0.755. And so that's going to be as far as we want to go, because we took and we turned this. We took seconds and turned them into minutes. And then we took minutes and turned them into degrees. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to turn this into a decimal version of degrees. And so we ended up, throw the degree symbol on there, 152.755 degrees. Conversions between decimals and their degree form with minutes and seconds as well. So you want to use that information to fill in this table, and I want you to do it by hand first. So try it by hand, see what you can get, and then here's the way that you would do this on a TI-89 or 84 or 83, the calculators that you have. To convert from degrees to degrees, minutes, seconds, you're going to hit go under. Let me see if I can pull one up here. Go on a TI-83. You're going to go under angle, which is by the apps button. So you go second, and then apps, which is angle. My calculator's just not working. But you can see it now. Second, and then angle. You want to go under angle, and then the options come up. You want to go to number 4, which is change to degrees, minutes, seconds. So you're going to put in whatever you have for your decimal degrees. So you're going to put in whatever your degrees were, and then you're going to go to angle 4. Let's get rid of this since it's not working. Angle 4, which is degrees, minutes, seconds, and it's going to change to that. Then you're going to hit enter on that until it gives you the degrees, minutes, and seconds. To go the other way, enter the problem using degrees and minutes, which are found in the angle again. So if you go to second angle, that will get you these two options. And then you can find the double hash in catalog. You can also find the double hash right next to the degree symbol. So the double hash, is also, well, it's not really working. The double hash is also right above the plus sign. So if you did alpha and then the plus sign, that would get you, that would also get you the double hash if you were looking at entering it into the calculator. So degrees to degrees, minutes, seconds is under angle. It's number 4. So type in your decimal and then just hit angle 4, change it to decimal, minutes, seconds, degrees, minutes, seconds. If you want to go the other way, you're going to start by entering your problem with degrees, minutes, and seconds, and then you can just hit enter and it should turn it into the decimal version of it. Well, we'll work on that. Hopefully my calculator will be working during class, and we can take a look at the calculator version of this as well.